I think I'm entitled.
You want answers!
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work. When you go to church. When you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe.
You wonder why I keep a rabbit cur in such a place of power. A cur's weakness, properly manipulated, can be a sharp tool.
Eyewitness! He is broken in half!
We are looking at basically a movie. A smokescreen is another way of describing it, whereby, and especially under Trump, this has been massively done, you focus attention on the personality who is a here today, gone tomorrow level of what we call politics. And because the focus is on them and people think that's where the power is, all the powers with Theresa May, the powers with Donald Trump, people then are so focused on that, they don't see that actually what's really running events is the permanent government.
Now, the Carter administration was one extreme, and then we came into the Reagan administration, yet
nothing changed.
Nothing changed. What you're saying is that no matter what the political leanings, they seem to be playing the same game.
As long as you're playing their game, it doesn't matter who you vote for, who you put in office. They all belong to the other side. They're in the pockets of the Illuminati.
They were supporting the so-called civil war in Syria, which has created catastrophe in that country. And another on the list, back in September 2000, was Iran.
We took action last night to stop a war. We did not take action to start a war.
Trump thinks we can't accuse him of rushing into a war if he reads his teleprompter super slowly. You can't just kill a top general of a sovereign nation and call it de-escalation.
Soleimani was not planning an attack. He was in Iraq. This is where he was killed at the Iraqi airport. He was in Iraq carrying a message to Saudi Arabia on how to reduce Iran-Saudi tensions as part of an Iraqi mediation effort. He was literally on a peace mission when he was murdered, when he was assassinated. A peace mission. A peace mission.
Trump and his allies are lying in the exact same ways the Bush administration lied us into a catastrophic war in Iraq nearly 17 years ago, and the exact same people are doing it. Vice President Mike Pence lied and tried to link Soleimani to 9/11 in a tweet that was not supported by the evidence, and if that sounds familiar to you, it's because it's right out of the playbook of George W. Bush and Donald Rumsfeld, who repeatedly linked Saddam Hussein to al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups without providing any evidence.
And now Mr. Make America Great Again, I'm a maverick, comes in, and he's got rid of the Iran deal, which has kicked all that off.
We're going to go into Iraq to take the oil and establish a base in the Middle East, and we're going to go into Venezuela. And I said, how are you going to convince people that this war is real? He said, but the media can convince everybody it's real. I mean, you know, it's just that you keep talking about things, you keep saying it over and over and over again, and eventually people believe it.
And he's seeking this coup in Venezuela.
Is he as much a maverick as he would like us to believe?
Not in the least, Eamon. This is the con. You see, if you're running basically a one-party state, where, as they say in America, those who kind of sussed it, it doesn't matter who you vote for, the government still gets in, and it's the permanent government that's always there, not the politicians that come and go, then you have to sell, in terms of the public, the idea that they have choice. Because if you don't, then, and lots of people are starting to realize this, they'll realize actually they don't have choice.
He expounded the value of systematic deceptions, pointing out that their agent tour should be trained in the use of high-sounding phrases and the use of popular slogans. They should make the masses the most lavish of promises. He observed, quote, "The opposite of what has been promised can always be done afterwards. That is of no consequence," end quote.
At the same time, he's acting like the most anti-establishment president of all time when he's on the campaign trail. He's also the most deeply pro-establishment candidate in terms of, or president in terms of what he's actually doing. So it's a fascinating dynamic that's going on right now.
It's a giant hustle.
That's right.
He ran on an anti-interventionist thing. He upped the troop count. He said, and show the tweets. Why are we in Afghanistan? He upped the troop count in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
He bombed Syria twice, and then he pulls people out. So call him on that. Call him on the $1.5 trillion tax break that he gave to his billionaire buddies.
Which could have given us all free college, by the way.
All free college.
Could have given us free college.
Now, as we mentioned last week, the bigger issue with Trump's sudden bombing of Syria is it runs directly counter to everything he'd said previously through tweets like, "What I am saying is stay out of Syria." But it turned out that was just a warm-up for a week full of foreign policy flip-flops.
President Trump making a number of stunning reversals as he faces multiple foreign policy crises after repeatedly calling NATO obsolete on the campaign trail.
NATO, in my opinion, is obsolete.
Now, Mr. Trump changing his tone.
I said it was obsolete. It's no longer obsolete.
It is incredibly annoying.
If I'm elected president, we are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
This is him just 1 month after his election, essentially telling everyone to their faces that the phrase was meaningless.
Funny how that term caught on, isn't it? I tell everyone, I hated it. Somebody said, drain the swamp. I said, oh, that's so hokey. That is so terrible. I said, all right, I'll try it. So like a month ago, I said, drain the swamp. Place went crazy. I said, whoa, what's this? Then I said it again. Then I started saying it like I meant it, right? It's true. It's true.
It isn't. It isn't. It isn't. Trump never meant drain the swamp. And you can tell that by what has happened since.
Donald, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Alex.
During the campaign, Trump appeared on Jones's show, pitching both his new book and his candidacy, while also heaping praise on the host.
I just want to finish by saying your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed, I hope.
YouTube removed many top channels, not just videos, channels associated with InfoWars, including the Alex Jones channel, which had 2.4 million subscribers and videos that were viewed over 1.5 billion times.
Where was Donald Trump when Alex was dumped by all these social media Silicon Valley corporations? Where was Trump for him? You know, it's not words that make a difference. It's actions. Where's Trump in terms of defending the alternative media?
Does the president believe, or does the administration feel that there needs to be some form of regulation for Google, or what exactly was the president referring to?
We'll
there?
let you know. We're taking a look at it. We'll let you know.
Could you explain a little bit what you're looking into, what you'd like to see happen there?
No. We're just looking into it.
Okay, just looking into it.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. Thank you.
I said.
What are you looking into specifically?
We're just do some investigation and some analysis. That's what we do.
Is there any evidence that they actually are censoring anyone's search results?
We're looking into it.
That's great. They're looking into it. Nothing to worry about here.
And we will develop new ways to counter those who use new domains such as cyber and social media to attack our nation or threaten our society.
And we already know the alliance is a disinformation shop run out of the German Marshall Fund, which is backed by the U.S. government. So we've already exposed the U.S. Marshall Fund funds these places over in the U.K. that push Russiagate and smear people who are telling the truth about it and who are anti-war. That's the government funding smears against citizens who are against government policy.
A U.S. government program designed to fight Russian disinformation, Twitter trolls, and online fake news just morphed into exactly the thing that it was supposed to be against.
But with little appetite for another Mideast war, a view apparently held by President Trump, you might ask, who's cheerleading for conflict?
Well, turns out the chorus includes U.S. taxpayer-funded trolls targeting journalists on social media. Welcome to a new chapter in the disinformation wars. His sin is apparently not being sufficiently enthusiastic about regime change. What makes this story more than troll bites man is the Iran Disinformation Project was funded by the U.S. State Department as part of its Global Engagement Center, which is supposed to fight online disinformation and propaganda. But in this case, it appears they did exactly the things they were supposed to fight. And what's arguably worse is that the Global Engagement Center was supposed to be focused on combating Russian disinformation campaigns and funded with $80 million to do just that.
Trump never meant to drain the swamp, and you can tell that by what has happened since.
And that spirit will only be magnified. Well, only with this man right here. I know that for a fact. And you'll be doing things that you don't even know about. Right now, they're not even a glimmer in your eye, but, and we have a couple going, Mike, right now that a lot of people don't know about that are very, very encouraging.
He told those present at this meeting that they must use their wealth to have candidates chosen for public office who would be obedient to our commands, so they may readily be used as pawns in our game by the learned and ingenious men we will appoint to operate behind the scenes of government as official advisors. He added, the men we appointed as advisors will have been bred, reared, and trained from childhood in accordance with our ideals to rule the affairs of the whole world.
I know nothing about WikiLeaks. It's not my thing.
WikiLeaks! I love WikiLeaks!
Consider the fact that I'm being called out because I like President Donald J. Trump, whose political agenda is in most ways the exact opposite of those running against him for president.
Really? Why isn't if it's the exact opposite, why isn't Hillary in jail? Why isn't Obama in jail? Why aren't the Podestas in jail? Easy stuff, guys. Easy stuff. And why doesn't Trump do it? Because they're all in the same bed together. You would expose the reality of what happened in 9/11 and go after those guys. If you really had that much power, but you must not have that much power, or you're in the same bed together. And it's both. They're just puppets. Presidents are just puppets. Trump says U.S. Federal Reserve too proud to admit mistake. Guys, this is WWE stuff. There's nothing substantial here. Exclusive. Trump says he has the power to remove Federal Reserve Chairman if I want to.
Intelligence, if you everything you can say he's doing for Putin, I got 10 things he's doing against him. So it's all fucking made up, and this is how the intelligence community captures the narrative.
Like, he broke every single political rule that ever existed when he ran for president, and he won. So what does that tell you? Notice, not a single thing is brought up about U.S. policy towards Russia in this rant. Why? Because the overwhelming majority of U.S. policies towards Russia are more hawkish. So obviously Trump's not a Putin puppet. Obviously he didn't do collusion. He's been escalating with Russia across the board. U.S. warships in the Black Sea. NATO buildup on Russia's border. Look at what we're doing in Venezuela. It's the opposite of what Russia wants. Permanent military occupation of Syria. That's exactly the opposite of what Russia and Vladimir Putin wants. And the list goes on, trying to get the Germany to end their oil deal with Russia so that they have an oil deal with us instead. Is that what Putin wants? To lose a tremendous amount of money? Is that what his puppet would try to have done? No. All right, guys, so it's time to have this conversation. It's long overdue. I think a lot of people need to hear this. But the fact of the matter is, Elon Musk was correct when he said Trump's in the Epstein files. I don't even really think it's debatable. I think it's a very black and white issue. I think there's very, very little gray area. So let me walk you through this here. And for the record, I'm only giving you some of the evidence. There is more evidence than this, y'all, but let's go through it. So let's start with this one. Midas Touch posted this the other day. Remember when Fox edited Trump's answer when they asked him if he'd declassify the files on Jeffrey Epstein? Okay, so here we go. You have Trump's full response on the left. Let's start with the one on the right, which is, this is the edited version that Fox posted of what Trump said when he was asked, hey, would you declassify the Epstein files? Listen to this.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Attorney General.
Did you notice that quick cut? One more time. Here we go.
Files.
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Attorney General.
So you saw the cut. You saw that quick cut. Here's what his actual answer was, y'all.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
Boy, is that answer substantively different, isn't it? Yeah, I would. Although that one, less so because there's a lot of phony stuff in there and you don't want to hurt people's lives if there's phony stuff in there. Gee, I wonder who he's referring to and I wonder whose ass he's trying to cover. One more time. Listen closely again.
That less so because, All right. I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
What a dishonest edit from Fox News. By the way, remember, Trump is suing, I think it's CBS, for how they edited a Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview. So in his, if you edit anything at all about my opponents, then that means you're substantively helping them and we're not going to allow that. But when it's him, they substantively edited this to help Trump. And of course, for him, it's totally fine. There's no problem whatsoever. All right, I got more for you. Trump used to go on Howard Stern all the time. When he did go on Howard Stern, there were countless moments where he was a little too honest and he let the truth come out and he spilled the real tea. All right, listen closely to this one. Listen to what Howard says and then pay close attention to Trump's reaction. Here we go. You see his face? How did he respond? One more time. He's got a face of mild shame on, and when he's called a sexual predator, he goes, yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay. But then we get to one of the bigger pieces of evidence, which is something I've referenced on this show all the time, and I am astonished at how few other people bring this up. And I'm, of course, referring to the literal Jeffrey Epstein audio tapes dropping. Michael Wolff interviewed him in 2017. This is before he died, right? And Jeffrey Epstein said, in no uncertain terms, I was Donald Trump's best friend for a decade. For a decade. All right, here we go.
Charming. He is able to convince people. So he tells everybody what they want to hear.
So how do you know this?
Donald's closest friend. He has a sense of humor.
Oh, you heard that, right? One more time. Here we go.
He tells everybody what they want to hear.
So how do you know this?
Donald's closest friend. He has a sense of humor. He can be.
I was Donald's closest friend for 10 years. Listen to what else he has to say. By the way, little known fact that also came out in this Daily Beast reporting. Jeffrey Epstein knew in Trump's first term, he knew the inner workings of the White House and the staffers and everything that was going on. And who hated who, and who loved who, and who had a beef, and who was trying to get this guy fired or that woman fired. He knew all of the intricate inner workings of the Trump regime. How? How did he know that? Stop and think about that one. We'll come back to it, but let's keep going here.
He has a sense of humor. He can be funny. Right. His ability to sell. It's very much like Clinton. Both Bill and Donald have the ability to go over to a fat, ugly woman, say, you are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So you probably know he has scalp reduction.
By the way, all of these videos that you're seeing on the screen, there's multiple videos of Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump partying together at Mar-a-Lago. In one of these videos, Trump points at a woman, to Jeffrey Epstein and says, ooh, she's hot, isn't she? Isn't she hot? There's also a quote of Trump saying, Jeffrey, he likes him young. He likes him young.
Just get the same male pattern model that we all have. There's not a horrible human being who has nasty things to his best friends' wives. Anyone who first tries to gain your trust and then uses it to do bad things. That's how it goes.
Okay, so what he's referring to there, about how horrible of a friend Donald Trump is to his buddies. What he's referring to there, and again, this was in the detailed Daily Beast reporting, is Donald Trump would try to blackmail his friends into letting him fuck their wives, trying to cuck his best friends. He would have his friend come over. He would call his friend's wife, have her on speakerphone, and the friend wouldn't know. And he would talk to her and be like, I got a girl for you. You're going to love this girl. Why don't you come to the hotel room? You're going to love it. You're going to have sex with her. It's going to be incredible. And his friend would be like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it. I want to meet this woman and have sex with her. And then he would hit him with, oh, I have your wife on the phone here, and she heard everything. Guess that's a shame. Guess that's not. Maybe, you should let me have some time with her. And he would try to blackmail his friends into letting him. According to Wolf, the best-selling author beyond multiple books chronicling Trump's rise, Trump and the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein were the best of friends for 15 years. They shared girlfriends, they shared airplanes, and business strategy, he claimed. Wolf claims he has seen damning evidence from those years that Trump would not want made public, including alleged lewd images of Trump and the sex offender who died by suicide in a New York jail cell in 2019 ahead of his trial on sex trafficking charges. Here's what Michael Wolff says. Listen to this. Quote, I have seen these pictures. I know that these pictures exist and I can describe them. There are about a dozen of them. The ones I specifically remember is the two of them with topless girls of an uncertain age sitting on Trump's lap. And then Trump standing there with a stain on the front of his pants, and 3 or 4 girls kind of bent over in laughter. They're topless, too, pointing at Trump's pants. Michael Wolff claims, I've seen the evidence, because remember, he did a long interview, a whole project with Jeffrey Epstein, trying to get as much information as he could out of him, right? He says, I've seen the pictures. And pictures include Trump with girls of an uncertain age, topless, bending over in front of him, stain on Trump's pants. Literal Epstein pictures, which effectively serve as blackmail on Donald Trump. Because remember, who's Jeffrey Epstein? There's a tremendous amount of evidence he's Mossad, Israeli CIA. Trump appears in Epstein flight log 7 times. Lawyer says no damaging info exists. The day after Elon Musk claimed President Donald Trump is implicated in the Jeffrey Epstein files, Epstein's former attorney firmly rejected the allegation. Listen to this, because this is crazy. This is the rejection, by the way. David Schoen, who represented Epstein shortly before his death, took to X on Friday, June 5th, to defend the former president. Quote, listen to this. I was hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died, Schoen wrote. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitely that he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked that. Shortly thereafter, Trump shared a screenshot of Schoen's statement on his Truth Social account. So here's Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, who was like, bro, literally the first thing I asked, fishy, but I got more. You know things are rough for you when there's literally an entire Wikipedia page to your sexual misconduct allegations. Since the 1970s, at least 25 women have publicly accused Donald Trump of rape, kissing, and groping without consent, looking under women's skirts and walking in on naked teenage pageant contestants. I forgot about this story. Remember, didn't he bought, what was it, the Miss USA or Miss World competition? He bought one of those like beauty pageant competitions. And he would literally, and he's open about this. Back in the day, he used to say, I would go in there while they're changing so I could see them naked. Go in on naked teenage. And then, by the way, in this article, 25 women, at least publicly, have accused Trump of grape, kissing, groping without consent, looking under women's skirts, walking in on naked teenage pageant contestants. And then they go on in this to go through the list of all the allegations. You have Ivana Trump. You know, there were some allegations from literally one of his wives had an allegation of grape. Jill Harth, Katie Johnson and Jane Doe. E. Jean Carroll, of course. That's the one where he had to pay a civil penalty because that went to court in New York and he lost. Summer Zervos, Alva Johnson, the list goes on. Jessica Leeds, Kristen Anderson, Stacey Williams, Lisa Boyne, Kathy Heller, Temple Taggart McDowell, Amy Doris, Karina Virginia, Karen Johnson, Mindy McIlvray, Rachel Crooks, Natasha. I'm not even going to go through all the names, but you get it. There's literally a whole Wikipedia page on the sexual allegations against Trump. But then there's also this. Do you guys remember this? We covered this on Crystal Kyle and Friends at the time. But this is another one that slipped my mind because there's so much dirt on this guy that you get lost in all the dirt. This article is from only 7 months ago. It's only half a year ago. Donald Trump, this was a story that dropped at the time. Donald Trump groped me in what felt like a, quote, twisted game with Jeffrey Epstein, former model alleges. Stacey Williams says the ex-president, whose spokesperson denied the allegations, touched her in an unwanted sexual way in 1993 after Epstein introduced them. So she goes on to explain she was a model at the time, right? And she knew Trump and Epstein, or I believe it was Epstein who she met first, and then he introduced her to Trump. And she says they like basically passed me around like a piece of meat. And it felt like they had this twisted game that they would do with each other, right? And that they like compete in terms of, hey, who can get the most out of her and who can touch her in an unwanted sexual way the most. And she said they would like pass me back and forth and do this twisted sexual game. Again, this came out only 7 months ago, and like nobody talked about it. We talked about it on this show, but I don't know anybody else. Pageant contestants. Remember this? This is the very famous grab him by the pussy commentary, but I want to highlight a specific thing he says here because it really shows the kind of guy he is.
Beach, I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and fuck her. She was married.
That's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy. Yeah. No, this was marriages, and I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there, and she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look.
Your girl's hot as shit. In the purple.
Whoa!
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes, the Donald has scored!
Whoa!
Oh, my man! Wait, you gotta look at me when you get out of your
Set this up.
That is very.
Will you give me the thumbs
Look
up?
at you. You are a piece.
You gotta put the thumbs up. You gotta get the thumbs up. Can't be too happy.
Else off first? Yeah, let me.
It's very fun.
You gotta give me the thumbs up.
You and I will walk down.
Oh my God.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the publicist. No, it's her.
Yeah, that's her with the gold. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. I don't even wait. Anyway.
I just kiss. I don't even wait. He's not done.
Use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet.
So he's putting Tic Tacs in his mouth in case he starts kissing this random woman who he hasn't even spoken to yet. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. I don't even wait.
I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything.
I better have these Tic Tacs because I might just start kissing her. It's like a magnet. I don't even wait. If you're a star, they let you do it. You can grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. When he says, I don't even wait, what does that mean? This woman he's never talked to, I better put some Tic Tacs in case I just start kissing her. Bro, I don't even wait. He's saying, I don't wait for consent. That's what he's saying. And the thing about, when you're a star, they let you do it, that's him saying, I get away with it in the sense there was no consent up front. I do it, and then I get away with it in the sense that nobody complains to anybody. Nobody files charges against me because I'm a star. What are you going to do? File charges against this massive celebrity? You're not going to do that. This is him bragging about sexually assaulting women. Bragging about it.